Welcome back, everyone. This segment is sponsored by AJ Fernandez and the San Latano line of cigars, one of the most talked about cigars in recent years, now offering a groundbreaking line extension called the San Latano the Bull. The San Latano Bull offers an extensively aged and hardy core of Nicaraguan lawn fillers nestled beneath an attractive Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper. Housed in a cedar sleeve which depicts the outline of a bull only solidifies this cigar as a full-flavored cigar. Removing the sleeve reveals a box-pressed cigar with a beautifully oily and smooth chocolate brown wrapper. The San Latano Bull burns nice and neat as it issues columns of smoke while it hits you with a wall of spice, followed by leather and cedar flavors. This densely packed cigar intensifies in deep, rich flavors and becomes a flavor bomb halfway through. It only gets better with each passing draw. Strong yet smooth and perfectly balanced, AJ Fernandez, who many have called a tobacco prodigy, has somehow pushed the already spectacular San Latano line of cigars forward with the Bull. This segment's also sponsored by Aged Selects, providing cigar enthusiasts with premium long filler cigars aged at least 5 years at an extraordinary price. The expert buyers at Aged Selects go to the factories of major manufacturers and buy cigars that have been aged for years. The team at Aged Selects inspects them, smokes them, and packages them up to ensure you're getting the best quality cigar to smoke. The best part is they're provided to you at an affordable price. Order them online at cigarfrontier.com. Before we get started, Will, I wanted to take a moment to talk about one of my coworkers, actually, who sent me some pipe tobacco. His name is Jaron. I wanted to thank Jaron for sending me four different kinds of pipe tobacco, which I actually smoked on my previous podcast. Now, what's interesting, Will, is I don't know how much you get into pipe tobacco, Will, but some of the ones he sent me were actual flakes. I don't know if we can cut to the cam here. So these are actually like flat cakes of pipe tobacco that you can kind of see there. If it'll focus on that. These are flat flakes, which is kind of interesting. This one was called Luxury Navy Flake. It's actually very good. Comes from a tobacco shop in Columbia, or in Maryland somewhere. The other one, which I thought was really cool, Escudo Navy Deluxe pipe tobacco. This one came in a tin, which are always really hard to open. And this tin had these like little wheels. Hold this one up too. Yeah, this is like a whole little tin of like these little wheels of pipe tobacco, which you have to break up and put into the pipe. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I want to thank Jaron for that. I actually liked this Escudo one a lot. And actually this other tin that he sent me was pretty good too. This one smells probably pretty horrible. This one, like the aroma and even the secondhand smoke, like it smells pretty terrible. Like it just doesn't have, it doesn't smell so good. But the taste on the smoke is really good. I really enjoyed actually all the ones that he sent me. So pretty cool. I gave him an Opus X Corona cigar, and he was completely blown away, and he wanted to send me some pipe tobacco to try. So I did that on the last show. It was all very good. So I got lots of pipe tobacco to try. Still got a couple more to try out of that bunch. So that was
What's
pretty
the
fun.
flakes do? What does the flakes do? Does the flakes have anything different with a pipe tobacco?
No, I don't. So, he could explain it better. He said something about the way the flakes are pressed or does something different to the flavors. The difference is when you pack it, you have to kind of crumble up the flakes before you pack it in your pipe. So it adds a little time to your process. Like a pipe is the kind of thing you want to just be like sitting for a while with nothing else to do, and and do that. So. Yeah, Zedman said that he had pipe tobacco that smelled like a burning brush fire, but it smoked awesome. So I guess that's how pipe tobacco rolls, which I never realized before. So yeah, the wheels are pretty cool too. So anyway, that's kind of a pipe tobacco update. I kind of threw that in there, Will. Will, you there?
Okay. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. So what was your segment?
So, and I'm getting a little bit of distortion, so I may turn the video off in here.
Okay.
Um, I had a few interesting hot topics that have kind of talking to kind of cigar people over the past few weeks have come up. And maybe from time to time on the show, I'll throw a couple of these up just as discussion points, more or less, that have come up. And I'm actually going to go backwards on the list here because I want to get to at least the first two today,
Mm-hmm.
because I think they're interesting topics. Um, the first one I'm going to talk about is an announcement that came out yesterday, and it's really kind of set off an interesting debate. And it's basically Viva Republica, a company distributed by Miami Cigar, run by a guy named Jason Holly, has announced a cigar called the Jailbreak. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay. So this is getting a lot, and I'll tell you what. So what they did is they're taking a Lancero cigar and they're rolling a Lancero. They're taking that Lancero and they're putting it in the aging room for a while. They're taking that Lancero and they're bringing it back out, and what they're doing is they're bunching more tobacco around it, creating a 6x58 Gordo. And then they're taking that 6x58 Gordo and aging that. So it's a cigar within a cigar.
That's pretty cool because you get wrapper inside of the filler,
So
right?
right,
So there's
I
there's
I
a wrapper
cannot.
leaf on the inside
Yeah,
and on the
Paul,
outside.
I thought this was the coolest idea. You would think that I have felt terrible for the Viva Republica guys. I've heard this gimmicky stuff. What are they doing? Let me ask a question. Here's my thing. Do we really need another release with a San Andreas
Mm-hmm.
wrapper or an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper over
Well,
Nicaraguan
they're just
tobacco?
jealous because they're like, why haven't I thought of this before? Right? I mean, it's a pretty simple concept. Has
I,
anyone done this before? This is the first I've heard of a cigar
I
inside of a cigar.
I've seen there was a company called Burger and Argenti that did
Yes.
something almost like
Yes.
this,
The
but
N2 bar.
not
Yeah.
quite to what he's doing here,
Yep.
Jason Holly.
Yep.
My goodness, we need it. Like you said, first of all, if the cigar smokes like crap,
Mm.
then we could say it's gimmicky. No one smoked this cigar that I know of yet,
Right.
right? I honestly, I think it's something, and it's a limited run that's going to be done, and I think we got to give this cigar a chance. I'm really anxious to get this cigar.
Me too. I can't wait to smoke it.
Does Havana Cigar Club? I think they carry Viva Republica.
I think they do. I'll ask Todd about that. I'll ask him about
Yeah,
this one.
I absolutely. Put me down for some of these when they have. Yeah, so I said I was
Punch,
just
punch
real
Nubbit.
surprised.
Punch Nubbit says in the chat room, it's a cigar turducken. It's like the duck that
That's
gets stuffed inside of the turkey. That's exactly what it is. It's a cigar turducken.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a
I saw one blogger
cirducken.
totally whining about it today. I'm like, really? I mean, it's like honestly, no one. And now I don't know how the concept's going to work. I don't know how the combustion is going to be. I don't. No one knows because there's not really been anything to baseline this off of. But I think in the
Mm.
end, the cigar's got to smoke good. So I thought it
Cool.
was cool. We'll put a link to that in the show notes on that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
What else?
So the second one I want to talk about is there was a big change at Davidoff that really has happened over the last few weeks. And what has happened is Hanky Kellner's role is changing at Davidoff somewhat, in that he is shedding responsibilities of the factory operations at Tabadam, which is the main factory at Davidoff, and he's turning it over to a guy named Hamlet Espinal, who basically has been a guy who's worked under Hanky for a while. Hanky's still going to have a role in blending right now, but he's going to be moving into more of a brand ambassador role. So, from what I'm understanding, he's going to be doing more in the way of events this year. Here's what I'm wondering. Are we beginning to see Davidoff getting ready to change the guard? And what could we expect right now? And will this start to impact now what we see out of Davidoff, which has had a spectacular 2 or 3 years?
Interesting.
Yep. So I kind of think it's something, in my opinion, worth watching.
I think my opinion, Davidoff does some really smart things business wise, and I kind of I'd stand behind them in a lot of what they do. They've been doing some really smart things lately. I think Will's
Yeah,
having some bandwidth issues.
yeah. I think exactly. I think that they're preparing for a secession here. So I think they're doing it gradually. So like you said, I think we got to see, but there's a lot of people saying, if we start seeing some changes in Davidoff product over the next, the operations at our factory, are they going to continue to work at the level there? I think we don't know yet, but I think, like Paul, you hit it on the head. It's it's an interesting topic there in terms of we could, can Davidoff keep it up? But at the same point, I think they're really preparing. Hankey's not getting younger,
Mm.
so he's got a lot of responsibilities. It doesn't sound like he's being forced out or anything like that. And the good news, we may get to see him at some events. Which, if you ever have been with him at an event, he's awesome.
Cool.
Okay.
You had some other news from J.D. Howard.
Yeah, so this one came up. This was a cigar shop topic that came up. I will say this is not the opinions of Will Cooper. Okay, so Crown Heads has announced a couple of cigars, the Jericho Hill Shots and the J.D. Howard Single Action Limited Edition 2015. Which the interesting thing that came up about this are, have they gone a little far in today's sensitive climate with these cigar names? I mean, so here's the thing. It came up is, with all the attention on us, you really want to name a cigar after a outlaw, Jesse James, for one thing, but do you want to call something called Shots? And do you want to have something, the J.D. Howard Single Action LE is in kind of a gun case. Now, my thing is this. I've had my disagreements with John Huber. I give him credit for this. I say, you know what? Stick to your guns, for lack of a better term, But there are some people saying, you know what? Maybe it's, there's so much scrutiny on this. Maybe could he have gone in another direction?
Yeah, well, I can see both sides of that, Will.
Yeah.
Do you want to draw dotted lines to another industry which has historically, or another topic which has historically drawn scrutiny from the media and from politicians and governmental laws and things like that and regulations? Do you want to lump ourselves in that same category? I think we're already kind of in that category of industries and activities that draw attention from regulators. So in the end, I don't know that it really matters. Myself being a firearms enthusiast my whole life, I think it's great. I think it's cool. And I think that
I think it's cool too, and I think the packaging's stunning on that LE. By the way, you got to give him credit on it.
I think on this topic, you should be able to brand and name your cigars however you like. I mean, obviously there's restrictions on that in terms of trademark and patent laws, but outside of that, I mean, it's a free country, man. You gotta be able to bring your product to market however you like, and props to them for doing that.
I'll say this. John Huber and Crown Head's probably one of the few companies that could get away with that, because I wonder if this was General Cigar, if people would be
draw more
really
scrutiny.
scrutinizing this.
Yeah.
It would maybe drawing a lot more scrutiny. But John he's kind of a rebel to begin with, and I think it kind of fits in with his rebel mode. So I thought it was an interesting topic when it came up. It wasn't something I really thought of. And I don't think it's gonna. I think he's small enough where I think it will still fly under the radar.
Yeah. I hope it's a good cigar. I can't wait to try him.
Yeah, yep. I think the shots already came out. I wouldn't know because John Huber doesn't send me press information, but I have seen it out there, and we'll put a link out there.
Alrighty. You got some news from Camacho.
The next Camacho. So Camacho came out with a 6x60 in their Corojo line, which I could see them doing that. That's not really the story there. They're beginning to come up with this campaign, which is called Original Corojo. And I'm wondering here if we're seeing Camacho, what I think we're seeing Camacho do here. Camacho was founded by the Aroas. I mean, so that goes back, or Simon Camacho, I should say. Then the
Hmm.
Aroa family had it. And they were always the Corojo family. They were the Corojo brand. I mean, Camacho built a lot of, they were known for their Corojo. But, now you have CLE cigars,
Hmm.
which, and Christian Aroa still has his family farms growing the authentic, they call it authentic Corojo. But now Camacho's kind of coming back in here and say, no, no, we were the original Corojo
Hmm.
blend. So I'm wondering here, are we seeing an interesting little battle maybe shape up here with this? I mean, I think it's an and they're going back to their roots for sure, Camacho, with this.
Yeah, I
And
mean, well, they're going back to the roots with some new packaging, and I have to say, first of all, that Camacho Corojo is a really good cigar. That has that bright red label with the black lettering, which is very, very eye popping. The wrapper's just gorgeous, and it smokes great. I mean, that cigar is a really good cigar. It looks like I've never seen the Robusto Tubo. I've never seen this in a Tubo, but the Tubo looks freaking awesome. Like the packaging, they did a really nice job, and they've extended that now. It looks like into a Tubo, and they
yeah,
have a picture of the box of Tubos as well. Stunning, stunning packaging. That's going to stand out on the shelves, as we said, and even more so in this new Tubo. And not only that, I mean, they've got the heritage and they've got the quality in their cigar to stand behind that. So,
they really do. And you got to give them credit. I think we've talked about it. I've not seen a rebrand done this well ever. And this is going back to Davidoff again.
hmm,
I mean, that's just they just have the Midas touch with this. So I think
absolutely.
it's going to be an interesting campaign to see what they're going to do. With the Corojo campaign over the next few months. This is going to be a big push they're going to be doing. And that other one is, if you look at the Camacho, some of the other Camachos have some tubos and some of those other colors, which are really stunning as well.
And the last time you have here is Smoking Ban in New Orleans, where IPCPR is going to be held in 2015. Will, is that right?
Yeah, so they and I know we hit smoking bans, and that's why I kind of held this one for last too, because I know we talked a lot. So they put a very, very comprehensive smoking ban in New Orleans. This is not a trivial one. Um, and there were some amendments put in at the last minute. We can get into the whole politics of why this passed. I really don't want to beat that to death, right? But there were some amendments put in place where basically they're going to be allowed to smoke on the show floor and at certain private events,
Mm-hmm.
and at cigar shops. But my question is, how is it? The trade show, okay? The nightlife of the trade show is as important as the trade show itself. People congregate usually at certain bars. In Vegas, it's been some of the casino bars. In the past, in New Orleans, it's been at Harrah's, which also now has a
Yes.
casino smoking ban.
Oh, so
I
you can't
don't
smoke inside Harrah's in New Orleans anymore?
know. You cannot do that. And I know people. Let me tell you, I know people that are actually thinking of not going. Still, and I'm not criticizing the IPC, but they could not move the show out of New Orleans this late. You cannot just
No,
pick up a trade
you
show and
can't.
move it, right? You just can't. And you've been around
Yep,
conferences.
absolutely. No, you
Um,
can't. I agree
I
with their
just,
decision.
but the question I have, and hopefully is if anyone from IPCPR is listening, if people are not going to, there are a lot of private parties that happen, with the manufacturers. Like, Stogie Santa's gone to the Ashton one. Me and
Yeah.
Stogie Santa went to a Miami Cigar. I go to Davidoff. And I think those will be protected, it sounds like. But what about all the people who are looking for a place to smoke at night?
Yep.
These cigar stores in
Are
New
not
Orleans are
open.
very
Nope.
tiny.
And they're
Uh,
small, and some of them aren't open late at night either, right?
yeah, but I'm sure they'll stay open, but
Yep.
they're not big lounges. I don't know what they're going to do. And I just hope that because that's a big piece where people just like I said, they go to the bar, they grab a drink, and they smoke, and it's a part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that piece is not lost. Is really the whole where I'm kind of getting at with that because, like you said, you go to these conferences, Paul. It's not just about the conference itself. It's all about afterwards, and there's a lot of relationship pieces out here too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, do you have a question for our giveaway on the show? I meant to mention that earlier. We do a giveaway on every show. You win a Smoke Naked T-shirt and a cigar. This week, I'll give away one of the San Latano Bull cigars, in addition to a Smoke Naked T-shirt of in your size. You specify your size, we'll send you a Smoke Naked T-shirt and a San Latano Bull cigar. If you don't have a question, well, I have one that I thought of.
Why don't you go? Why don't you do it?
So this week, Will and I both chose our cigar of the week that we did in our different Stogie segments. So and this particular contest is open up to all listeners, live, post, whatever. Will and I, so this is the first in is a winner. So the first person to answer, send an email to the show at stogiegeeks.com. That's how this contest works. So the question for this week is, Will and I both chose our smoke of the week, our pick of the week. Email us, the show at stogiegeeks.com, what was Paul's smoke of the week and what was Will's smoke of the week on this episode. The first person to answer that question correctly, email it to the show at stogiegeeks.com, will be the winner of a San Latano Bull cigar and a Smoke Naked T-shirt. There you can see the Smoke Naked T-shirt that we have available. You can purchase Smoke Naked T-shirts at shop.securityweekly.com is currently where you can purchase those right now. So email that answer in. What was my smoke of the week and what was Will's smoke of the week for this episode 128?
Yep. And we have some contest winners I want to
We do, yes.
So first up, the long-awaited San Cristobal box of cigars went to Derek Matthews. I forgot to read them off last week. But Derek Matthews is the winner. Congratulations. Just email the show, and we'll get the guys to get the box out to you.
Right.
The second contest was last week. We had the elf packs. We gave away 2 elf packs. One during the show, and it was to Robert Joseph, who we announced last week. And I'm going to be getting those elf packs from Scott. Now the other one we gave to a person who submitted their answers to the 5 questions.
Yes.
And I picked one.
Go ahead. Good. Nope.
Right.
Yep. Good.
And I really like this one. It was the winner's Justin Morgan, and I loved his answers. I'm going to read them real quick here. 3 words to describe himself was quiet, smart, and strong. His weapon of choice of a serial killer, I loved. Supersonic sound waves.
Nice.
We never had that one before.
That's good.
Title of the book was Super Dad, so he's a good family guy. In terms of Ask Grabby Grabby game, do you go first or second? He picked second. And then I loved his choice for parents. Catherine Zeta-Jones and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Nice.
So that was a good one. So congratulations, Justin. Email me your information. I will be working with Scott Weeks to get those elf packs, so I'll be handling those out. And then the crew for Derek will get the San Cristobal box out to him.
Awesome. Well, that's it for this show. That's episode 128 of the Stogie Geek Show. Thanks, Will. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening. And we'll see everyone next week on the Stogie Geeks. Have a good night, everyone.
Take care.